What's going on, guys? I'm back with a brand new series review for you guys. I just watched Raised by Wolves season 2. Once again, starring Amanda Collin, Travis Fimmel, and Abubakar Saleh. First of all, it's time for another Whatever Happened To. Whatever happened to Eva Green? Okay? She had this dark, gothic look about her. This feel. It was very attractive to me. Okay? And I always told myself, she's definitely in the line for a Tim Burton girl. And what I didn't know, one of her first popular American movies that she starred in was Dark Shadows. And the reason I didn't know this is, well, for one thing, I'd never seen this movie all the way through. Okay. And I had no idea she was even in the movie. She didn't really look like her usual self. All right. Then later on down the line, she had a movie, 300 Rise of the Empire. Now, my thing about this movie, she had a sex scene like no other. All right. She greeted the enemy of the opposing army and had sex with them. And it was a hot scene. It was a very intense, hot scene. I've never seen a movie do this in the way that they did this. Okay. So that caught my interest, amongst other things with the movie, of course. Then down the line, she did a oops with the Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. They should have left that one alone. There should have never been a prequel to Sin City in the first place. There should have been a part 2 or part 3 maybe, but not a prequel. No one was asking for that. I'm sorry. Then she came out with something that really caught my eye about her as an actress. Penny Dreadful. This little TV series was built around all the horror tropes and monsters, and it made the monsters seem real and authentic, and it made you sympathize with Frankenstein of all people. Okay, so and her character in this, of course, she's the lead role. It really brought her out as how open she is as an actress, what she's willing to do, the limits and lengths she's willing to go, okay, which really made me respect her as an actress. Okay. Then a little bit after the show's about to come to its end, she had another Tim Burton movie, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. That is one of the longest titles in the world. But I had my doubts about that movie. I had my doubts. But in the end, it was actually a very good movie. Even though it was PG-13, it made a lot of sense. It involved children, so you couldn't put it up a little higher. I understand that. But it was still a good movie. Okay. But then she just faded out. So where you're at, please come back. Please come back, Eva Green. We want more of you. Okay? Now let's get to that review. Raised by Wolves season 2. For those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you don't know anything about season 2 of Raised by Wolves by now, you must have never heard of HBO at all. Okay. you must have been raised by androids your entire life, just cut off from the rest of the world somehow, because this has been advertised so many times by HBO. It's ridiculous. Don't play me. Don't play me. All right. Raised by Wolves season 2. It's pretty much continuing from, of course, Raised by Wolves season 1, where they experience a tragic crash. Mother and father experienced a tragic spaceship crash, which just came from mother having her own experience, personal experience of something that most mothers go through in their lifetime. Most mothers experience this. I can't say too much. All right, I don't want to give too much away or ruin anything. Okay, but I'm just gonna say this: a lot of mothers experience this, and this is her first time experiencing this, and that led to them trying to flee and run away. Okay, and they have a tragic crash, which now they are found by the atheist. They're in the atheist environment now, and they have to learn how to deal with the consequences of the situation. And that's the main premise of season 2, Raised by Wolves. Positives. This season, it doesn't drag as much as the last season. Let's just say this season had a higher level of violence. All right, from the get-go, there's blood, there's gore, there's battles. Every episode is just some kind of battle or fight. It doesn't really pan out as like it did on the last season, and I'm thankful for that, because it kept me up. It kept me up and it kept me interested. Okay, there's all kind of things you could range from androids just going berserker rage mode on a bunch of people. And I can't give too much away on that, but that happens within the season. Okay, crazy stuff like that. To seeing Father show you why he's one of the best service models in the industry. Okay, it was very entertaining as far as fighting wise, and all the fights that were exposed in this. All right, another positive about this show. This show, separate from season 1. Season 1 had its moments too, but this had a lot more emotional moments to the show. Okay, there are going to be some parts where you're going to want to cry, especially this one moment involving a character called Tempest. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. It just, when this part happened in the show, there's a reaction from another character that definitely let me know what's going to transpire between those two. What's gonna happen? Because the emotion given just by another character was just crazy. I didn't expect it prior to how things were going between certain people. You would never expect this reaction from that person. Okay, and it was incredible. It was incredible. I felt something. I felt an emotion a little bit, like, damn, man, why did that have to happen? Why? It just came out of nowhere. That came out of nowhere. And it's heartfelt. It's heartfelt, man. It's really heartfelt. And I congrats for doing that. Man, kudos for putting that scene in the show. All right. Another positive about this. There was a definite built-up suspense for an all-new character that is being, revealed in season 2. All right. It starts off as a little thing, something minor, and then it starts to, in a word, grow to something else. All right. And when you see the final product of this character, it's amazing. It's amazing to wonder what is this all about? What are they going to do? What is their role in this show? All right, and that's the wonderment of the other characters too. They're like, what can this do? What can this certain character do that is so unique from what we do? I wonder. All right, it's when you find out, that's a whole nother topic and discussion that I wish to do spoilers for, but I can't spoil anything. All right, we know that. But it's a very interesting character to wonder about and explore and discover and so forth. All right, and I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed that so much. My last positive about this. There is a specific shocking moment, I'd say towards the end, that when it happens, all right, it's something that once it gets rolling, it doesn't stop. Because when this happens, and then that happens, and then that happens, and it just keeps rolling. It's another domino effect. Okay, and it's definitely a lot to do with just the beliefs of a certain character who's posing as Marcus, all right, and his little family, or what you can call them, that they're supposed to be believers, right? So much goes on with their paths in this show that towards the end, it's such a tragic ending of where they're going. Such a confusing ending. You're gonna be left confused, like, well, what's going on now? What's going on now? You know, I almost feel bad for that family. I almost feel bad for this little family because this is what it's come to. This is what it's come to. All right, and you'll feel some sympathy for them, but at the same time, you know, that's what happens when, you know, there are many beliefs and disbeliefs, and when it comes to religion and people finding a religion. You know, either you lose your path or your faith, or you don't. It can go so many ways that it turns into something else. All right, and that's all I got to say about that. It was a very shocking moment. Nothing what I'm saying on here is what you think. Okay, don't think too hard. Don't think too hard. When it happens, it's going to happen. That's all I'm going to tell you. When it happens, it's going to happen. Negatives. In season 1, I'll put it like this. In season 1, there were a few times that this show already having a sexual vibe. It has a very strong sexual vibe in season 1. That just came to a point in season 1 where they would actually show the consequences or the results of this vibe that you get from the show already a couple of times. But in season 2, it just completely directs itself from any kind of sexual activity at all. Okay, it's not really there. It's really dry as far as sex goes for this show in season 2. Which is not a completely bad thing, because the violence and the action makes up for it. The boost of action makes up for that. But at the same time, I kind of wish they would have thrown that in there a little more often in season 2. I kind of missed that from season 2. It wouldn't have hurt. But it didn't. They didn't need it. But it wouldn't hurt. Another negative. As you all remember, if anybody remembers season 1 who's ever watched it, there's a character from season 1 who's in this season named Campion. One of the kids from the first 6 kids that they took care of. He was completely annoying in season 1. Just an annoying little brat who was just so soft. So soft. It doesn't get any better. In season 2, he's a little older. You'd think he'd learn, a little more by now and be a little more mature than what he was. But now he's dumber. He's an idiot. Campion is a complete idiot in season 2. He's a complete idiot. It was unbearable. Thank goodness for the character Paul, because Paul was the smarter one. He's always been the smarter one. Paul has always been the one with the brains, not Campion. Campion is just an annoying twerp. Campion, if he's supposed to be the leader, they're making the wrong choice. They're making the wrong choice. I'll give you that right now. Paul should be the leader. I don't care if he is the opposing side. Paul should be the leader. Make him the leader. Please. Please. Please give some faith to this, so to speak. My last negative about this. Towards the end, there's a certain part where there is just way too much information revealed to a certain protagonist in this show, to the point where you could pretty much just scale out what's going to happen for next season. When you get to this part, you're gonna be like, okay, we already know what's gonna happen next season. Thank you for just blurting all that out. Thank you for just pouring all this down our throats and making us watch this reveal right here. They didn't have to do it like that. They could at least left the first part out and never revealed that to the protagonist, this certain protagonist. So there's another character that pops in that just kind of ends it out and kind of wraps it up. That's the only part you needed. That's the only part you needed. I hate when a villain just gives away all the information. That's kind of how this went. It reminds me of that. All right? But I've still got to give this a hell yes. Hell yes. All right? I need you to like this, share it, and subscribe if you haven't.